Hey, what's up, guys? Man, not sure that I'm going to call this a nice day or not. If you look up there, it's kind of a little dreary looking, a little gray. You see the sun trying to peek its way through. It's about 8:30 in the morning, and it's wet out. Heavy dew. Must be the spread was pretty close all night because everything is wet and dreary. It's my first day back from work, first morning, and we're gonna do the standard walk around, look at everything on the property, and assess what we're gonna get after today, if anything at all. And so let's get after that. I'll flip you around and we'll see what I see. So this is my view right now. Rooster birds are going crazy out there. I see Betty sitting here next to X, and well, we'll give it a little walk around. We'll come over here. We see Franny girl over there. We got the back of Dolores and Candy. Candy's gonna get some attention this week. We're gonna give it a bath. We're gonna get the wheels and tires off the one brake that's kind of messed up and get a look at that again. And we're gonna put some new chambers on. And there's Whitney down there on the end. Of course, Crystal's out front. And really, Crystal's just hanging out. We're gonna do a little, maybe a little air cleaner work on that truck while I'm home, but we're not really for sure. I've been back and forth with it and ideas for it, and yeah, I don't know what we're gonna end up doing. But let's just give a truck walk around. Now here's Fiona. That's Devlin's truck, and hopefully Devlin is able to come in the next few days. We can do a little work on that thing and see about getting that truck moved off to his house. And X is in position to get a transmission, so if we get some free time while I'm home this month, we'll get the flywheel off, put the new fresh flywheel and clutch assembly in, and slap a transmission in. We got to do some measuring first. You see Betty's hood is gone. It's at the fiberglass repair place. I've seen a few pictures. So far so good. Anxious to get that back here and get it back on, get it lined up, get the thing open and closing nice. What else is on the plan? Oh, the bolts and stuff are in for the frame, so we're gonna get after that and get all those bolt holes filled once and for all. And so I'm super excited about that. Also, I'm thinking about getting the frame sandblasted this trip home, and that would be super cool. We're gonna do the upper and lower flange and the outside rail, and get that sandblasted and get primer and paint on it. And we'll also we'll probably get new brake chambers for the back as well this trip home, and get that buttoned up, so that looks nice. And we'll probably get the angles drilled and installed for the fifth wheel, which will be good to do, and get the wiring done into we're gonna put a box right there, and so we'll probably get the wiring put into the box, and then that way we can make a harness for the rear. That'll be good. Get these tanks polished. That way when we're done putting getting the frame sandblasted, primed, and painted, get these tanks put on. At least that one. And we do want to do the new exhaust on the truck while the sleeper's off. The big hole kit should be here in a few days, so I'd like to get the big hole kit done this trip and get the sleeper back on. So sandblast, prime, and paint the frame, polish the tanks, do the big hole, put the sleeper on, and that would be a great and that would be a great amount of work to have done this trip. I would like to have the exhaust, at least all of the underneath of the truck exhaust done and stubbed out for the new exhaust, the new stacks, and then that way I can get the supports, the brackets off of the chassis or off of the cab, sandblast and powder coated and back on the cab and ready for exhaust next month. Get that done and get the hood on. And then this truck is close to going to paint and body. We'll see. I'm going to try and get a lot done while I'm home, but we'll see how that goes. So the plan for Dolores for this trip home, Johnny's supposed to come Sunday and work, and I'd like to get that oil pan off and brazed up and back on and a fresh oil change on that truck while I'm home. Also, I want him to change the dashboard for the tilt wheel. Oh, puffballs, look at that. Look at that, puffballs. Cool. I didn't know we had puffballs down here. But anyways, sidetracked. We'll get this tow rig off of here and get that truck pulled out, washed and cleaned up inside. Tires all aired back up, aluminum all cleaned, and get the brakes finally fixed on that truck, and then get it out, take it for a cruise, make a little video. Franny girl needs a radiator. You know, action's been kind of picking up on this truck, so I'm interested to see what goes on. We're going to take that toolbox off and get some mud flaps on it. Don't know if we'll do anything else. Also, we're going to get the sleeper out and get it in the shop in preparation for the big hole on the sleeper, and then that FLD hood's going to go with the fiberglass guy and get repaired and sold. I want to get the rear diffs off of this, so what I'll probably do is cut that off, leave a couple feet and cut that off, and then get that put over in the yard, and then strip off the rest of the stuff that I want off of this chassis, and then get the rest of it scrapped out. We're going to walk over and look at 11 real quick. We're hoping that the Spider has moved on. Hopefully the weather has gotten good enough that the Spider has moved on. Let's see what we got. Yep, looks like she has vacated the premise, which is good. We'll plan on getting this truck started up today and move it out onto the road. Now, hopefully the kids come and wash Candy and get Candy scrubbed up and looking good, and we'll get this truck pulled back up and get it scrubbed up and looking good. Maybe paint that bumper, and we'll get that truck out there in the sales lot and see if we can't get that thing moved. Like to get rid of these 3 trucks and that one, and my life would be much better. So my cousin sent the boys over and picked up the pressure washer for a big job he had, and I noticed that they brought that home yesterday, and so we're gonna get after this concrete today or tomorrow. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do today. I may not do anything today. I may just lazy it out and not do anything today, but we'll see. All right, let's get a look. All right, so nice puddle of hydraulic oil. This thing has a little bit of a leak, so it's pretty standard. Everything looks good there. Let's look at the pressure washer. Looks good. Oh. Fuel smells good. Yeah, I like it. Fuel smells good, so that's good. Man, it is a wreck in my shop. It always is. I have dreams of cleaning the shop up someday, but I just feel like that's not a thing. We got to get on Trisha. This is the last year that Trisha is going to sit in the shop. This winter, when it's cold outside, we're going to be inside. We're going to have this thing all plastic wrapped on the frame and stuff. We're going to get that cab fully body worked and in primer, and then and we'll do the engine too. We'll fully body work the engine and get that thing painted, and we'll get that truck painted. It's not going to be perfect because James Pretty's going to try and paint that himself, but we are going to get it body worked and all in one color, probably similar red, black, and silver. Just not sure what I'm going to do as far as stripes go on it, but that truck needs to get finished and get out of here. Yeah, probably should have never tore it apart, but whatever. I should have never started working on the roof, and I should have never tore it apart, but bing, bang, boom, there it sits. Bob's upset because it's in the shop taking up space. But anyways, I'll probably bored you enough. I'll bring you back when I figure out what we're going to do. All right, so I was waiting to get my shipment in from nutty.com, and came today, so we're going to go ahead and get these bolts in. Good thing I looked at that today because I had forgotten that we didn't do that. And I almost took this truck for a drive the other day, but didn't, just because this fuel tank wasn't bolted on. Ouch. But I'm super glad I didn't, because it would have sucked to have that center bearing fall out. That's why you don't do half measures. Just glad I happened to catch that today. All right, nice and tight. That thing is going nowhere. Perfect. Get you a little view from back here. There you go. Some nice half-inch, zinc-plated half-inch by 2-inch coarse thread. We've got zinc bolts and zinc washers. Unfortunately, we don't have zinc lock nuts. They are on order, so we've got these temporarily. When we get the lock nuts, we'll switch that around. But for now, the drive shaft is complete. Okay, so we're going to do some measuring. These we're looking for a front axle, a complete front axle. We're going to see if there's one off at 579. And that way we can match up the brake components, because we want anti-lock brakes. These springs are 4 inches wide. These U-bolts have a 4 1/4 spread this way. They've got it looks like about a 4 3/4 inch spread across left to right, and that's center to center. Looks like these are about they're about 3/4 inch diameter. Looks like our spread is about 52 inches in length, and as far as outside to outside spring goes. We're gonna take a quick peek, see where that is. Oh, that's way further than needed. Looks like 36 inches outside of the spring, Okay. I'm trying to think what else we need. Maybe the distance from the kingpin center to the spring is probably 17 inches. If we were to go to the grease circ, it's about 17 and a half. And I'll check the other side as well. And I'm going to bring this video with me. Looks like about 17 and a half. Also, this steering arm cuts back over the axle. Not sure what's going to happen with that. We could probably reuse this depending. And so just to go back over this, a 4-inch, it looks like 4.5 spread in this direction. Let me double check. 4 1/4. So similar to the other side. Everything else looks the same over here. Looks like the steering box leaking a little bit of oil. So we're going to have to get after figuring that out. It's got new hoses on it, so we know it's not that. It's probably this front seal. We'll have to look and see if we can find a new one or a rebuilt online. We don't want any oil leaks. But the goal is to get a whole new axle. And I don't know how to measure that offset. I guess a guy would take a tape measure down to maybe there, and he would say that it's about a 6-inch drop, or a 6-inch drop. So that's something that's doing, is we'll head over to Kearns and we'll find a 579 chassis. We need to get that rear cross member anyways, and we'll see if they have a complete one. We'll grab that off of there, maybe a 5th wheel and a front axle. And now the idea is to come back with a front axle that'll bolt right into these springs and have the same sort of steering arm. I'm not sure what'll happen with that, because that's a pretty big deal. That has to be correct. So we'll look. I've got some pictures of the way this looks. I'm gonna take a couple more just for kicks. But this is really what we're looking at. This way and this way, and because we're going to see if we can find one that's a direct bolt, and that'll have the proper unimount wheels and hubs, and the proper analog brake hardware and wiring, so that when we get to the analog brakes on this truck, everything will be active. And so that's what we're looking for primarily. And we're going to look for an ECM for the brakes and all the wiring for the back as well. All right, so we're going to move this truck today. We're going to make a quick trip around it. Make sure there's no spiders. Looks like all is said and done, the spiders are gone. Get this puppy started. We'll get it out by the road, and then tomorrow we'll have the kids take it up by the shop. First we're going to have them do Candy, and we'll have them wash Candy on the outside and do the inside, and then we'll get it Candy moved back. We'll get this truck up there and have them do the interior. We'll just let that run for a little bit and air up. Then we'll get in it, we'll move it up front. There it goes. That's why you put a block under it, because if you don't put a block under it, then the thing's down in the street, across the road and in the ditch. So, yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? Man, what a dreary day today. Overcast, raining. Wow, but the temperature is not bad, so it's going to end up being an overall great day. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I'm standing here in front of this gorgeous piece of machinery. Candy 1989 Freightliner FLA, big bunk, cab over, NTC 350 Cummins, 9-speed trans, and Airliner 2 air suspension on the rear. And Candy's been sitting neglected for quite a while in that spot behind you. I'll show you what that looks like. And today we're going to get the pressure washer out. I need to pressure wash the concrete anyways and get some marks scrubbed off of it. I'm going to try and get this this asphalt treated, coated before winter sets in. And this thing looks haggard, and it needs to have the tires aired up and the wheels and tires cleaned and some treatment put on these. These are some of the first recap tires on the drives that I bought, and it really let me down. The sidewalls are dry rotting, and that's what you get when you buy used junk. And you know, these things literally have about 700 miles on them, and they're already garbage. Now it does have brand new steer tires, Virgins. They're Falcons, the RI 150. It's a good tire, and those are going to last a good long time, but those drives, I'm afraid, are not going to last a good long time, so we're going to have to try and figure something out. But today we're going to get the pressure washer out, the hot water pressure washer out, get some soap on that concrete, and get this asphalt clean and get the green off of this frame. And we'll also get the brush out and some Dawn dish soap, and we'll make her all sparkle buggy. The kids were supposed to come today and do some truck washing, but yeah, again, they're not, so I'm going to do it myself. Let's get after it. stronger than Don, probably. Pump lever again. Too bad this stuff doesn't come off. All right, so there's the tires all mop and glued up. You can just rinse it off, or you can just let it dry. I think rinsing it off is probably a good idea. Rinse this side off and leave the other side. Let's see what happens. Okay. And we'll check back in an hour and see what they look like. Hey, what's up, guys? Man, turning out to be a pretty good day today. Overcast again. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. So I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I'm standing here in front of this gorgeous piece of machinery, and that's my tow motor, my forklift, a little buddy. You guys know that I use this thing every day, it seems. And you know, this old girl's done me well for the last 5 years, and it did my dad proud for a dozen years before that. And well, I don't know what I'd do without this little old girl. But anyhow, what's more important is what it's carrying today. And inside this box is something very special. I'm going to get this catalog out, and I'm going to show it to you. And this is a 2024 parts catalog from Truck Shrouds LLC. Now, Truck Shrouds, I'm sure you guys, everybody who watches me is familiar with Truck Shrouds, because every one of you watches Twin Sticks Garage, I think. And you know, he's been doing a lot of work on his 359, and Truck Shrouds makes a lot of parts for the 359, body parts, body panels. And one thing that they make for the 359 that we're going to use is this, what's in this box. And this is a big hole kit. Now, I know you guys, some of you are familiar with the big hole sleeper, and some of you may not be as familiar with the big hole sleeper. But in a truck, in a regular cab truck with a sleeper attached, there's a transition in between the truck and the sleeper. And the transition is big enough for you to duck down and get into, but it's not big enough for you to be able to recline your seat back into the hole. Normally, about 2/3 of your seat hits the wall, and there's about 1/3 of your seat that is into the hole. And so if you're a larger person like myself, of course Jessica wouldn't have any trouble because she's tiny, but for a bigger guy like myself, you need to be able to scoot that seat back without the seat bouncing off of that wall between the sleeper and the cab. So what's inside this is going to be 2 big aluminum rings and the material that they call a sleeper boot to go in between the two things. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this catalog inside and set it up on the bench, and then we'll come out and we'll open that box and see what's inside. So I've learned, you guys, a bunch of times how to take care of these straps. A lot of guys will get their pocket knife out and cut on them, but all you have to do is flip them over to the back and give it a pull, and the thing comes right off. Now, I don't carry a pocket knife with me, mostly because I'm a sky trucker and we're not allowed to carry those things in and out of customs and in and out of security. So I have to resort to, and my dad was grounded from sharp objects because anytime he had a knife, he had needed stitches. And so my mom grounded him from sharp objects a long time ago. And I get it, because I'm the same way. You give me a new blade and I'll show you a place that it shouldn't be sticking into. Let's see, I think we're gonna, yeah, oh boy, lots of good looking stuff in there. I see. So we're probably gonna have to get after, we'll see. So here's the boot. And these are the rings. Boy, come on now. Oh, this is more frustrating than it needs to be. Now, this ring rubber is interesting. And then what do we have in here? They supplied us with blind rivets and an assortment of lock bolts, or huck bolts, if you will. You know, I don't know why it's taking more effort than it should, but so what we got here is this is a factory ring. from PACCAR. Now, Truck Shrouds is in the process of sourcing a ring different than this one. And I was hoping to wait for the new one, but you know, I'm ready for this ring right now, and so they sent me this original PACCAR ring. Now, if you remember, the way this works is you cut the hole out for this dimension here, and then you come from the inside of the truck to the outside of the truck, and this piece here rivets to the inside of the truck. So the truck metal will go over this, and you'll use a caulk. So what you do is you go around and you drill holes, and first you cut the hole, then you put the ring in, and you drill the first couple holes, and you cleco it, and we'll go over what clecos are. Clecos is just a spring-loaded clip that you put into a hole, and when you release the spring tension, it pulls it in like a rivet, and it's temporary, and that's how you keep your unit square as you're going. All right, we're going to start up Betty. I feel like the tarp is going to be in an okay spot. And we're going to start up Candy, because we're going to move Candy out of the way and get Betty out. We'll probably just move Candy up in the... Ouch. That is a long old girl. All right, so what I plan on doing, I plan on getting the seats out of this, getting the exhaust off, getting the seats out, and then getting the rest of the flooring out, getting the interior panels out, back out, and probably leave the headliner in. I don't see any reason to take that out, but yeah, we'll get after that, get this thing cleaned out inside, and while we got the seats and stuff out, we'll wash it and acid wash the aluminum floor and stuff in there, get all the corrosion out, get these door sills out and these door seals, get those all out, get that all decorrosioned and clean, and then that way we've got room in here to get after this this sleeper ring.